It had to go something like that. I had to double-check this story, folks, to make sure this was not from a satire website. I've done everything I can to satisfy myself this is a real story. It's from a website called The Daily Wire. It's out of Miami-Dade, Florida. Headline, relatives of killed 17-year-old home invader. How else is he going to get his money? Relatives of a teenaged home invader who was killed by a homeowner while seemingly exiting the home he had broken into. The relatives are asking observers to consider the mentality of children raised in the hood. 17-year-old Trayvon Johnson. You can see why I was suspicious of this piece. Part of me still is. Wait till you hear this. 17-year-old Trayvon Johnson was shot and killed after the 54-year-old woman homeowner was alerted to his crime via a home surveillance system. After arriving at her home, she witnessed 17-year-old Trayvon Johnson exiting a window of her house. There was then a confrontation in which Trayvon Johnson was shot once. Center mass. 54-year-old woman. Police arrived on the scene within seconds and applied CPR. After being rushed to the hospital, Trayvon Johnson was pronounced dead. Seemingly justifying her relative's commission of burglary, Trayvon Johnson's cousin, Nautica Harris, suggested it was the only way through which he could obtain money. Nautica Harris, cousin Trayvon Johnson, said, quote, "You have to understand, you have to look at it from a child's point of view that was raised in the hood. How he going to get his money to have clothes to go to school?" she asked. "I don't care if she have her gun license, her rights, or any of that," said Nautica Harris. "That's way beyond the law, way beyond the law." Speaking of what she described as Johnson's bright future, the 17-year-old victim here, Nautica Harris said that her cousin loved education and loved learning. Quote, "He was not supposed to die like this. He had a future ahead of him. Trayvon had goals. He was very big on education. He loved going to school. He loved learning." Rejecting the police's characterization of the use of lethal force as having been lawfully applied in this case, Nautica Harris said the 54-year-old female homeowner should have allowed her cousin to flee. "It's no reason she should have waited until after he walked out the yard before she came home." And then there's a picture of 17-year-old Trayvon Johnson here. Facebook said, I'm wary of this. We have a story. 17-year-old perp breaks into a house, steals some things. Homeowner alerted to it, comes home, fires one shot, 17-year-old dead. Cousin says, "Hey, wait. You don't understand what it's like in the hood. How else is this young man who totally is devoted to education going to get any money for food and clothes?" Therefore, robbery is justified. If you come from the hood, how else are you going to get your money? You realize now, I guess these people have just decided they don't even want to wait for the welfare system here. They just want neighbors to open their doors and let people rush in and take what they want without waiting for taxes to be confiscated to pay for it. She should have waited until he was gone to come home. You've got to understand. Folks, I don't know. There's a part of me that believes this is entirely the thought process. And there's another part of me that does not want to believe that this is some kind of a hoax. But I know it's in the Washington Post. I know I'm saying it's not the Onion. It's a real story. Yeah, he had a prior arrest, but it doesn't matter. He comes from the hood, and he loved education. He was really into education. He had plans. He loved going to school. He loved learning. Well, where did he learn to do this? Spike Jonze movie or Spike Lee movie? Where do you learn to do this kind of thing? But then to have it justified.